Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be going over beginners psychic tips and tricks that you can use at home when you are first starting to develop your own psychic abilities. And I'm just going to share with you a couple of things that I really recommend to pretty much any client that comes to see me for an aura reading. I usually will be able to pick up on whether they are like psychically intuitive or inclined, and if they are, I usually give them a couple of things that they can do to start to hone their own gifts and hone their own abilities. So those are the tips that I am going to be sharing with you guys today. Make sure you like the video down below and subscribe if you're new to my channel, and yeah, let's jump into it. The first thing that I always recommend to people when they're first beginning to open up to their own psychic abilities is to start writing down any sort of intuitive nudge or psychic thing that happens to them throughout the day. So carrying around like a little notebook or something that you can write down your experiences in when they happen, that will help to give you something to like look back on to see if you accurately felt or saw or predicted something that did end up coming true. And that just begins to like help you build that confidence for yourself and will open you up to more experiences down the road. So you're basically letting the universe know and your spirit guides know that you want more experiences like that, and by doing that, more experiences will come to you. The second thing that I always recommend to people that are starting to kind of hone their abilities and their gifts is to figure out what your abilities are and what your strongest clair ability is. So I do have videos on a couple of the clair abilities and how to know if you might have them, but it might be a good idea to actually like look online for a little test, or you can do the simple movie test that I always use, and I actually use this in one of my videos. I think it might have been the clairvoyant video, but it's really important when you're first developing your abilities to kind of figure out what you're the strongest at. Which clair is the one that you're already inclined towards, that you already have a natural ability with, and then how can you kind of grow that and hone that. So like I was saying earlier, the movie kind of quiz or whatever you'd want to call it is, think of the last movie that you went to see. It could have been in theaters, it could be at home, whatever. The last movie that you saw, what do you remember the most about that movie? Do you remember visually how stunning it was? Do you remember the soundtrack and how amazing the music was for the moods and things that happened in the movie? Or do you remember the emotional roller coaster you went on with the character? So that way you can start to kind of figure out, what are you more inclined towards? Are you more visual? If you're more visual, then you're going to be more clairvoyant. If you are more auditory, you're going to be more clairaudient. If you are more taken by the emotions and the storyline and the characters and things like that, then you're going to be more clairsentient. And if you knew things before they happened in the movie without them hinting to it, then you're probably going to be more claircognizant. So all of those are going to be the clairs that you're going to be working with mostly when you start beginning to develop your abilities. So you'll probably have one or two that you're mostly inclined towards, and a lot of people are more feelers, especially empathic people. They're able to feel the energy that is in a room, that is coming off of a person really easily. So figure out which clair is your strongest, and then maybe even figure out which one is your second, and you'll be able to identify when those little things are happening to you throughout the day. Make sure, again, like tip number one, you're writing down any experiences that you have when you are experiencing things like you're like, oh my gosh, this person feels so angry. That's something that you would write down. Or you're like, oh man, I haven't heard from my friend so-and-so in a while, and then they call you. Write that down. All those things, write it down, and yes, okay. All right, so now we are on to tip number 3. So tip number 3 is going to be reaching out to start to connect with your spirit guides. And I think that this is one of the most important things when you're beginning to develop, because your spirit guides are your support team on the other side that have been specifically assigned to you in this life to help guide you along your life path and to help you hit those major milestones that your soul agreed to before you incarnated on Earth. So spirit guides are like rooting for you, always and trying to help you as much as they can. And it's really important when you start to do this work that you reach out to them and you try to connect with them, because they have a wealth of knowledge for us and they can really help assist us in our own spiritual growth and our own psychic growth and things like that. So that is another thing that I always recommend to people, and people are like, well, how do I do that if I can't hear them or if I can't see them or any of these things? It's really easy, okay? You just make it your intention to start to connect with your spirit guides, and just by doing that, they will understand that you are ready to connect with them. You might start seeing little messages throughout the day. You might start getting repetitive numbers. Basically, what you're doing is you're just letting them know that you are ready to work with them and you're ready to start to take your spiritual growth seriously, and you're kind of opening the door for them to give you support along your journey. So they're always going to be there for you whether you reach out to them or not, but it's really important, if you want to do this work, to make a connection and kind of start to build a friendship, or even like just like a relationship with them, whether it's a supportive relationship or if it's more of a mentor relationship, if you do want to learn from them. It's just really important to start to reach out and connect with them. So it's really easy. Just make it your intention that you want to begin to connect with your spirit guides, and they will feel that intuitively. And then you can start reaching out to them by writing them letters about whatever you want, you know, your day, how you'd like your spiritual growth to look, what they can help you with, what you want them to help you with. But if you want more direct answers, you could actually do like a spirit guide meditation. So how to meet your spirit guide meditations are all over YouTube, and they can actually be very, very helpful if you're just starting out, because what they do is they guide you through how to meet your spirit guide, and they take you to a very meditative space. And then what they do is they introduce like a door or some sort of walkway that you walk through, and then there is your spirit guide. So if you don't have an experience the first time it happens, if you have to do it a couple of times to start to get into that rhythm, then that's fine. Do it a couple of times. So just keep your mind open again to the experience and see what happens. It's a really great way to be guided to meet them, and kind of like, I don't know, it's like a good way to start if you don't really know where to start with like doing a meditation to meet your spirit guide. So find one on YouTube that works for you, do the meditation and see what happens, and then journal about it later. The other way that you can connect with your spirit guides really, really easily for like straightforward answers is to invest in an oracle or a tarot deck. Obviously, I really enjoy oracle decks because they're very straightforward. They usually have the message written on the card, and you can use this as a tool to start to connect with your spirit guides by literally just pulling a card a day in the morning, making it a part of your morning routine, and just starting to kind of get into that meditative space where you're like, all right, what guidance do I need today from my spirit guides? You flip a card, you read it, you go about your day, and then you see later if it actually makes sense for what happened to you through your day. And it starts to kind of give them that freedom to connect with you and to give you guidance, and you're saying like, yes, I want to connect with you, I want to have guidance from you, and they'll start to send it to you, not just in, you know, the card pulls that you do every day, but they can start to send it to you in other things that happen to you in your life. Like maybe you'll have more synchronistic events happen for you because you're open more to their guidance. So definitely invest in like an oracle card deck. Tarot decks are really cool too. I've had a tarot, I actually used the Shadowscapes tarot to have one of my guides introduce himself to me, and that was a really cool spread. So if I can find that spread, I will link it below. I also have a lot of that information in my oracle deck how-to video, how to connect with your spirit guides video, which is definitely an old one, but still a good one. I rant pretty hard in it, so just be warned. Alright, well that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I have way more beginner psychic tips, so maybe I'll make this a little mini series on my channel. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like down below and let me know if you have tried to reach out to your spirit guide and what happened. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.